Yeah. Liz Taylor used to hang out there.
Yes, she did. I'd like to call the meeting to order of the Mass Transit Commission. It's today, the 15th. Wednesday, the 15th of January. You obviously have the roll, Mark. We don't have any appearances.
And Mass Metro.
Yeah, unfinished business would be update discussion on the marketing plan, with Madison Metro and the rollout, so. Teresa, actually, I think we might have mentioned at the last meeting. That, Teresa and myself. And Mark and Will, as Director of Community Media, have been meeting every Friday with Madison Metro by Zoom.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Great, great thing, great that they made that commitment, and so we've been able to move forward on a whole marketing plan, and I asked Teresa tonight, if she could put her up on the screen, because I don't think you guys have seen it, it wasn't part of the packet. And we could just walk through, so that means, Mark, if you can make her. You gotta make her.
I sent a request.
Is there a way to turn the music off in the hall?
Yeah.
Turn it down?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. I'm just like, I'm sitting here singing along and getting distracted. I don't know if you can hear it, Teresa, but we've got VMO going and they're playing Funky Town right now.
That'll get the Bob Dylan song out of my head. Thanks, Addie.
Did you get the,
So you're now co-host, Teresa, if you wanna pull out the spreadsheet.
Uh-huh. Request to allow, it is said that was declined by the host. Oh, no, that's all right. I got it. Sure.
There, yeah.
Okay, how's that? Does that work?
Yep.
But I do have sort of like this thing on the top of my screen. Are you seeing like a black something or another? Like it's not blacked out at the top? Okay.
Yeah, that's all right. If we close down the sidebar, and increase the size of the spreadsheet, that'd probably be helpful, because otherwise it's gonna be hard to read.
How's that? Is it just, I've
Yeah.
increased the size of the spreadsheet and then Mark, do you have to do the rest? Okay,
No,
no, you got it.
I think we got it.
all right, sweet.
Yeah, so we obviously, every time we meet with Mick, we've been doing things like. Working on, initially it was things like working on the maps with him, to make sure that, what their page looked like. On the Metro page, and then obviously working with him using the messaging and everything that we talked about at the last meeting.
Lovely.
To put together things like a flyer, poster. PSAs for WVMO. And a whole variety of other things. You might have seen it today in the city's newsletter and in the senior center. So he and his crew have also met with Diane over at the senior center. And there's a meeting over there on the 22nd.
Got that on my calendar. We need to talk about that today.
Yeah, and Metro actually, to their credit, did a lot of adjusting, because initially he was like, kind of like, people aren't gonna be able to start signing up for paratransit until March 3rd. And Diane was like, my folks are getting anxious enough already, isn't there any way we can shift around? So he did. So this is an advantage of working every week with him, is we're like catching things like that.
Good.
And also with Will, he's the one that's been, because he's been in on the meetings, he's already done some of the people, the DMO, you might have heard some already. And then the other thing that Will did was based on Addie and her fast fare card at the last meeting. We decided that we really wanted our social media to be people here in Monona. And really fun, social media posts. And so we started that because we had,
I grew up in.
we always have an annual holiday Christmas party, for the staff. And so I just said to Will, can you bring your camera with you and we'll start snapping pictures, and then what we wanna do is not just do city folks, but also do. You know, a lot of the folks that people would know around town, like Bennett over at Fraboni's in front of
Oh.
Fraboni's with you know,
Yeah.
and somebody in front of Ken's, so the Ken's crew. You know, the places that are kind of, somebody from out of Leopold, you know, places that are kind of minority institutions where people know the faces, they're crowded all the
Okay,
time.
and Teresa, you know, we're seeing your Facebook right now.
I'm trying to
Okay, good.
find Nancy's post in case you missed it.
Just,
Nancy-
just double checking.
Right there.
Oh, hey, there we go.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's,
So that was out on the City of Monona's website, and then Nancy and I posted it on ours. So feel
Yeah.
free to grab that from the City of Monona website and post it to your own personal socials.
Lovely.
right, so this is the one of Neil, who's our city administrator, in case you don't know what he
Mhm,
looks
mhm.
like. And then this is the one of two of our younger, this guy's, so that choked up when I saw it, that these guys were front and center, literally first responders in the mass shooting we had. And that was taken like the day after it. So, and then this is Chris from Public Works. You know, and then this one's the one that's up there. And then, and, well, you know, we're not necessarily gonna use them all. Here's Doug, he's the planning department. You know, and Doug Wood, who's the alder.
Mhm.
And, but we wanna get some of you guys taking a picture doing that, and we wanna get the other people, because we're gonna be rolling these things like
Nice.
all the time, right, on social media, different social media platforms. So,
And just a cell phone camera photo is okay? I don't need to like get a high quality camera or
If
anything.
you wanna come in.
yeah, if you want, I mean, if you wanted to come in, I'm sure that Will would be more than happy to arrange something with you. You could do a PSA and have your photo taken at the same time.
I'll bring my instruments.
There you go. There you go. And the same thing applies to everybody else too. So we're basically, we're putting all those materials together. We sequenced. We talked about the sequence of the rollout, like what needs to be the messaging first, third, and second, third, as we get closer to March 3rd.
And Nancy, I didn't find that in my notes, but I know I have it, and.
Yeah, I know Will has it too.
And I think we'll just, you know, we got so much stuff here that doesn't yet have a due date on it. And next time we meet with Mick, we'll just put dates on these things.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then we, so every week we're, you know, he's giving us updates what's happening on their end, and we're giving him updates on what's happened on our end, and we're making sure that we're hitting all of our channels, and the poster information that he's putting together and printing is gonna be available. Did he say last week, you guys, when he's gonna have it done?
He says soon we give the official okay.
Okay, we haven't given the official okay.
Right,
Okay,
so I'll double check with him.
okay, so if we give them the official okay on Friday, he said it only takes a few days for them to print.
Yeah.
They do all their own stuff.
Nice.
And what would be really helpful is to spread out really the three things. One is having some of you guys, if you're game, do the pictures, like I said. Two is if anybody's interested in doing a PSA, I'm sure Will would love to have different voices. And not have just himself or Lindsay Wood Davis or whatever do it. And then for the PSAs. And they'll be rotating, of course. And then the third thing is, once the posters are done, we really want to. Right.
I'll have this in an email to everybody's phone committee. They want to schedule PSAs. So you can schedule that with you guys.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
So
But yeah,
Other than just showing up and being like,
Yeah.
yo, guess what we're gonna do?
I'm sending emails.
You don't have anything going on.
yeah, Yeah, that would be great, if we could, yeah, if,
We can collect it.
and so it would be for photos and PSAs, anybody, will, wants to do it, can do it, that would be great, more than merrier. And then on the 21st, we're taping, Conectados. With Shalene, which is a longer interview type format, so it'll be like 15 minutes or so. With her, and then, as you just mentioned, on the 22nd. We have the senior center. 2 hours at the senior center between 10 and 12. And there would be a representative from Metro there to walk, anybody can come, it doesn't have to be just seniors. But the whole idea there is to walk people through the application process again and to be there to help them fill out their applications if they need help filling out the applications. And to explain to them again how paratransit works, if as well as regular service, because as we know from looking at the data. There's not that many seniors that have used the lift that much, and with their and there's such great potential for seniors on the regular bus.
Just, I did talk to Diane.
Mhm.
She talked to Metro to see if they would go to like Frostwoods and some other places, and they will work. So
That's great.
they're gonna work, Diane's gonna set something up with the Frostwoods and those other.
So when you say go, you mean a representative?
Rep from
go
Metro
to
go
those-
with Diane.
With Diane to those places to introduce the service.
So they'll, so they're working on it.
Yeah. And then we talked about, if there were any other events, during the winter months here that where it would be good for Metro to be
we
there.
talked about, like-
now and March. Huh?
Yeah, Mick had mentioned something like, oh, you're talking about outreach, like a tabling event.
Right,
Yeah,
but we don't really have a
Yeah.
lot, between now and the beginning of March, but that doesn't mean, and that's the other thing that we stressed. I mean, all of us have stressed, we really wanted to start out with a bang, right? We'd love to have, ridership and everything strong through their beginning, because I'm sure there's gonna be some people that will be like, I told you nobody's gonna ride. But the reality is that, it's not farmer's market season, or, it's not festival season, so it's, and Metro is prepared to, to be here for the duration in terms of tabling and other things as we get into warmer weather.
Cause they're not gonna stop as the March.
Right. They're gonna keep going,
Yeah.
right.
Just so you know, I didn't get you to tell you to say, we were meeting today. I remember that Mick was talking about one of the people just came back from leave, I
Yeah,
think of his name.
yeah,
He reached out to Ryan today, he wanted to set up 4 listening sessions. So I said, well, we're gonna here tonight and then talk to Mick at the library, so it was the first time I heard of it today. The person reached out to Ryan.
I think doing a listening session at the library would be great. I mean, they could do it to eco action.
Talk about what?
Just talk about the new service and everything like that.
Yeah, because there are gonna be cards available. Teresa, excuse me. Oh, do we have that on the sheet? We're putting, the FastFare cards are gonna be available at City Hall,
mm-hmm. Yep. What's your
Um,
question?
at the library.
Is your question where they're gonna be available at?
Yeah, because we narrowed it down and I can't remember the exact.
Library.
Is it on the sheet?
Library, senior center, and us.
I would have to check my minute, but my screen is like being broadcast now, so I'm hesitant to like
Okay.
search through all my stuff. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
so there's 3 or 4 places, they can, obviously, you can get the cards anywhere, but people are used to getting
Yeah.
the card, and you can email to get the card, which is what you do.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Can I just
But,
share this with folks?
huh?
can I just share the screen with people so y'all can have it, or is that not cool?
Email to everybody?
Can I do that?
Sure. Sure, you can do that.
Uh, I
Except
don't,
for we don't all have computers here,
Yeah, I did, yeah.
so.
That's
So
okay.
just leave it, that's all right, we're, you know,
Speaking of the library.
yeah,
The 25th is the Loud at the Library.
just
Yeah.
wondering when
And I
that
was
was.
wondering if there's interest, I don't
A
know.
lot of people there.
Yeah, it is a lot of people. It is a community event. It is in the right kind of timeline. It's just fast turnaround to get somebody there. I don't know who's organizing, so I don't know.
I do.
You do?
Yeah, I'm gonna be at
Probably.
the front table, usually at the front table for the first shift, so I mean, we could have something. We could certainly have the
Posters by then.
posters there by then,
Mhm.
and
Could have some cards if people want.
flyers there, yeah, I can, I'll talk to, it's Jennifer Kerr and Andy that are doing, Andy. Russo
okay,
that
yeah,
are
I know
doing
Jen.
it already, and so. I'll see if they're game.
Yeah, I know that they're raising funds
For the
for the
library,
library.
right,
They probably wanna keep the focus on
the library,
the library.
Yeah.
yeah.
And be like, no, get your own event. That might be the response you get.
You can take the bus to
Yeah.
the library.
Yeah, but the other thing is that, so anyway, we have figured out. Where the cards are going based on what Metro. Was recommending and what they're used to, people are used to getting, where they're used to getting the cards and how they're used to getting the cards. And then we also. Know that people are, there's a whole bunch of places, including all the Quick Trips, where you can reload your card.
Nice.
Every time we meet with Metro, we're learning another thing about the system that makes it like
Yes.
so very
Mhm.
easy, you know? That's just great. So all the Quick Trips, all the libraries, I think all the Metro Marts, there's a bunch of. You know, where you could just go in and reload your FastFare card, as well as doing it on your computer, of course.
Nancy, I found it. You can pick up a fast fare card at the library, City Hall, Senior Center, and at the schools.
Oh, that's right.
And then you load the card online, which is what most people do. Or you get them at any Walmart, any Walgreens, or Quick Trip.
Walgreens too, yeah.
Oh, good,
Walgreens, Quick
good.
Trip, yeah.
And I've actually been using the app more
Yeah.
than my card.
Yeah,
So that's, that's been just surprisingly quite easy because it's just always right there. Just open it up and scan your QR code and hop on the bus.
so I think we're all pretty much on track. Are we on track, Mark, in terms of the phase from Express? Like, do they know their last day is
Yes.
the
Yeah.
second and
They've been notified,
they've been notified?
yeah, 6 months, or
Okay, yeah,
maybe 6 months.
Yeah.
I did talk to Mick and. Signs are ready, put on posts.
fantastic.
When we talked last Friday, he said, well. Don't put them up right away, maybe 2 or 3 weeks out,
Right,
but we do have the poster in. We do have they're ready to put out the sign, so everything's ready to go. As far as that part.
By signs, you mean this stop?
It's the stop sign, yeah, that goes on the sign, yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's the stop signs, and another perfect example of how great Metro has been to work with is. We were pushing them during these meetings to have on the Metro's website, the exact stop times all the way around Monona.
Mhm.
Cause initially it was more like he had the start time like at a park and ride and then the end
Mhm.
time at the university,
mhm.
but he didn't have like
Each bus stop.
each bus stop, right? And they hesitate to do that a little bit because they really want people going to the app. And the tracker, because it obviously varies from
Right,
day to day, and they
right.
don't want people to be like, it says right here, it's gonna be at this
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
yeah. But, which is understandable, but at the same time, we know one of the concerns for people here is, especially because I don't have as much experience riding Metro. how long is it gonna take me to get downtown?
Mhm.
When can, once I find where the bus stop is close to my house.
Mhm.
How do I know when when it's gonna be there, et cetera, so they put together, they did the sheets and they're now on their website.
Nice.
So they'll know when every stop is, so, recognizing that it fluctuates obviously, and they basically drive everybody in the tracker. So,
I'm
yeah.
just curious, Nancy, we talked about posters. Did we want to? I found a list of all the places that we had brainstormed previously about where we might want to hang up the posters. Is that something you want to talk about now or email to folks, or what are your thoughts on?
What would you guys find
We
easier
talk about
for
it
us
now?
to send out, like almost like on a sign up genius and sign up where you wanna? go
They're
for
ready to
posters?
go, they should go up now, soon, it
Yeah.
says starting March.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So, we can do it kind of like a sign up genius thing, or if you want, we can do it.
Just
later.
we each can put them places or,
Yeah.
yeah, sure,
that
that'd
would
be
work.
great.
You wanna do
Yeah,
it right now?
that'd be good.
Or
You want
want
to just, yeah,
sign
I
up
can just
genius?
read
I
them
think
off.
it would be easier to do by some sort of electronic format method.
Okay,
What
Do you have a
about?
list you
yeah,
said,
because we
right?
do have a list,
I've
so
got
we
a
could
list,
do it.
I've got a list in front of me now, if you want to look at that. Let's see, share. It's not fancy, but it's just right here. We talked about Aldo
There you go.
Leopold.
There you go, we got it.
Okay. Great. So we did not get Spanish language, posters. We didn't
So-
get that.
So
But-
anyway, if anybody wants to jump on any of those and say, I'll take, we can put your name on it right now if you want. You see anything?
Definitely I'll get Mala Yoga. Cause I'm there a lot.
Well, I'm right by off Broadway, Buck and Honey's.
Oh, your initials are escaping.
LJ.
LJ
Okay, thank you.
and Buck and Honey's.
Oh, yep. Okay.
And we recognize that, we may end up doing these posters now and have to do,
Oh,
2
yeah.
months from now, let's go back and replace it, like, it's all coming out.
If we have posters, can we just, like, I'm looking at Buck and Honey's, well, what about forage, what about? I mean,
Yeah, any of
place
them are-
really that you
yeah,
see
that's-
that what month.
Yeah. Right, any place that you
Yeah.
see that's not on the list, we just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, I can,
I go to Kremlin. Ski. Do those.
okay, Doug's gonna do Crema and Muskie.
Thank you.
I think clinics and Red Robin,
Mm.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
That's
It's
what
me.
you said. I'm having a really hard time hearing.
Market clinics and the Buffalo Wild Wings, Red Robin.
Cool.
Mark,
Tomorrow.
what is Maywood?
I'm gonna move the microphone for just a second, Teresa, so sorry if it gets really bad in the background, but we're gonna kind of slide it up the table a bit. And then hopefully you can hear Mark a little bit better from that space.
Thank
Oh, I
you.
can, Waypoint too.
And Waypoint with Mark
Yeah, Buffalo Wild Wings.
and BW.
No, Waypoint was Laura,
Oh,
right? You said-
Yeah,
Oh.
go ahead, go
Oh,
for
I
it.
can just.
Okay, no. Which, you guys flip a coin again, you wanna do it, Mark? You
Yeah, I
go.
do.
Okay,
Is Maywood the school?
It is.
yeah,
So that's, which is Jake.
yeah, give it to Jake, give Maywood to Jake.
Yeah,
What
just
is-
give it to them all.
ALNC?
ALNC is Aldo
Aldo
Leopold.
Leopold.
I'll do Aldo Leopold.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not able to go over to the candlelight hike on Saturday.
Yeah. And I think Doug said he was gonna do Muskie too, right?
Mhm.
Thank you.
I can just do the kinder care, the daycares. And,
What
I
did you
can-
say, Mark? The daycares? Okay.
yeah, the daycares.
Doug, would you be able to hit Burn Boot Camp since it's between Crema and Muskie?
Oh,
And then I'll catch Anytime Fitness then, because it's just up the street.
I was gonna say, I could go, I'm there every day, so I can.
Oh, you are, go ahead, yeah, I know, I usually work out there, so.
You're at Anytime now, Nancy? That's funny. I didn't know that.
Huh?
I didn't know you were at Anytime now.
I've been at Anytime for years, I just, I just
Somewhere
back
else
in.
for some reason. Okay,
Back in, because I was off for a while.
that's wonderful. All right.
And did we forget any, so that's pretty much all the places, right?
I don't stop at the hotels,
Yeah,
you have to stop there for other stuff, so.
So Mark's gonna do hotels.
Do the 3 quick trips have posting boards indoors, inside? I don't often, I figure if it's available there, if
That's
like,
a
that's a
good idea.
spot where you can buy.
Would you say Quick Trip?
Yeah, I don't know, do they have a place where they hang things?
Good question.
Well, I'll take on the 3 quick trips and see if I can,
Okay,
yeah, because it makes sense, because you can buy passes there, we would want to have a,
and I'll take, if you scroll up, Teresa, I'll take, Monona Bakery.
Oh.
And,
got it.
I'm happy to go to La Rosita, or Los Pares, I'm there often.
Thank-
And then SWAD too, is SWAD on there as well?
It is not.
It should be, yeah.
yeah,
Where Monona eats. I'll take SWAT, Teresa,
Thank
Patty.
I mentioned Patrick will take one.
oh, yeah,
Sure,
Oh,
sure.
and with Fraboni's needs to be on there too.
yeah, let me do that. I'll do that walk around with Fraboni's, Ken's, SWAD, Eagle, Silver Eagle. I'll catch those 2 blocks, because that's my backyard.
are we talking about the poster that's in the meeting packet?
Yes.
Yeah,
Some of the businesses that I have signed up for are not in Winona. And I don't know if. He's recorded.
Yeah, it's just.
Yeah, I'm just wondering like if people are gonna like, so it's our bus already runs here, I don't, for us or whatever, I don't know.
But they can come into my.
I'm just not, yeah, just it's,
You mean like Kremlin, like.
Yeah.
Because Kremlin has a bus stop down there, doesn't
they do, okay.
it says right, Metro Transit beginning March 3rd, but to anybody outside of Monona, that won't make sense.
Oh, they're already, yeah.
Yeah,
it? That's what you're saying.
not that I want to edit the poster, but I wasn't sure if I could just handwrite or something on it, like, coming 2 minutes, I don't know.
It does say that throughout Manila, yeah, right?
It is. Here it is. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you read the fine print.
Oh, okay.
Or medium print. I guess it's the 3rd smallest. I don't know that it matters that much, I just,
I think most of the places that are in Madison, goes through. I mean, they're very aware of the back and forth between the two on Monona Drive. So I don't know what the business owners, I would think wouldn't mind. And it certainly would apply, like right now, you can't grab the bus on Buckeye and go anywhere in Monona. Now, with this, you could grab the Buckeye and go down to Civic Campus or go to the pool or anywhere else, that, you know, because it's coming. And along Monona Drive in a way that it never did, it's never stopped. So. I mean, if we can find a way to say it cleanly, all year, we have, they haven't printed, so we can always change them. If you go. I get
Not that
your
important
point.
to me, I just, if I bring it into like a bar. They're like, what's changing? Like, are you just advertising for Madison Metro in my bar? But I wanna be like, no, this is specifically for your patrons who live in Monona, because it's something they've never had before. And so I just, that. That part of it, I think, is what I was getting at.
I could take one over to Lake Ridge Bay. And because I was thinking like you are about Dunkin' Donuts, and there's a stop right there already. But this tells them they can, other stops, there's gonna be other.
Right,
Yeah, there's a lot of people from Monona that walk to that stop, that
Yep.
will find a
Oh, you-
stop
there's always
closer to
people
their,
there.
yeah, that'll find a spot closer to have home, myself included, yay.
It totally makes sense anywhere inside of Monona, but as soon as I put it somewhere in Madison where they already have metro service. It makes less sense. There already is a Route 38. You know, all
Oh,
of
that's
that,
true, yeah,
so,
yeah, travels throughout Monona.
Uh. Service is increasing throughout, or I'm trying to, are we wordsmithing this or are we?
I don't know, I
Oh, okay.
feel like I opened
Yeah.
a can of worms that I didn't wanna upset the apple cart, I was just.
no, it's, I mean, it's a good point,
It'd be easy enough to. You know, ride Metro Transit.
I might just say Route 38 coming to Monona. And that would be the change,
Yeah,
of
expanding to serve.
Expanding, right?
expanding service to Monona.
Throughout Monona.
Wouldn't even change the layout of the poster, there's
No.
enough room in there.
no,
Yep,
Route 38 expanding. Throughout Monona. Does that work,
Mhm.
as opposed to travels, right. Cause one of the things that I pointed out at the last discussion that we had is. That we were so focused on, there was all these sites like the Civic Center,
Mhm.
Heritage Pier 37 stuff that were now available to people. That people started, I mean, we even had some people on Facebook say, well, you know, I thought the whole idea of line transit was that it was gonna go in Monona, why, you know, why? How, you know, like we weren't
okay.
going
Mhm.
east or
Yeah.
west of Monona, you know,
Yeah.
or we, these were the only stops, right?
Right.
And so we changed some of the language already. So,
If.
which is necessary.
If you feel like you wanna be done, I have no problem with it
Gotcha.
as it is.
No, we want it to be as good as it can be and we haven't printed it yet, so
Right.
we're gonna be meeting with Mick on Friday, so, and he hasn't printed it yet. Right,
Correct, yes.
so if we can figure out the language right now.
Okay.
I think Mick was pitching back a little bit on the edits that I sent him last week.
Yes,
His point was, this is what the website says, and the website was approved, you know, so,
okay,
yeah.
okay,
But maybe the website should also be changed. I mean, Mary noticed something on the website, you know, that we hadn't thought about.
Right. the way it read, it seemed like
The
it
way
was
that it's
once
coming
every
into,
hour, it
Yeah.
didn't go both ways.
so it's really only once every half hour, right? Depending on the direction you want to go. Yeah.
So, you know, I'm sure he wants to be done, but we can take. We can take some friendly amendments and if we feel like we're pushing too much, we'll just stop, right? We'll just leave it the way it is. So if you had your druthers. It would be Route 38 expanding. What do you wanna say, Doug? Since you got it.
Expanding service to Monona.
Through Monona.
To and through.
I think for language, we might do 2 instead of throughout,
Mm.
just because I think we'll be running out of,
Mhm.
yeah, we got a little space.
Yeah, you see it expanding to.
Once you say what the key destinations are, where it
Mhm.
goes is clear.
Okay, so it's just be Route 38 expanding to Monona, including stops. Yep, okay.
Check the QR code, it worked for me.
Good.
Yay.
That's good to know. So, you just mentioned a couple of places that we hadn't thought of.
Well, there's always lots of.
I know, like, we haven't
When
in
we're-
Southtown at all, I
Yeah.
could go do Southtown.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll,
Just wanna get, look at a
Take a
bunch
bunch
of
of
we'll get a bunch
Posters
of
and
them, take a bunch of posters.
Maybe keep track of. what
Track
we
we
put
do
on.
that.
Yeah, keep
extra,
track
so-
and take some,
it's outside the list, just let
Yeah.
us know.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Okay.
I can, let's see here. We don't have the high, I found some old places that we had talked about before too, like the high school. We don't have
Mhm.
anyone taken the high school yet. I
And
can,
MG21.
Yeah, I can do the high school, cause and Jay, cause we got a meeting with them coming up about some other
Okay.
stuff.
and then La Choza del Viejo, I don't know where that is.
Oh, I'm happy to stop by.
Where's that?
It's 2 doors down from Sal's.
Okay. And then we've got MG21 and One City Schools.
And did we put Sal's?
We did. I got him
Okay.
in alphabetical, so Addie's doing cells, yeah.
I can do MG21.
21. Yeah, I haven't signed up for any of these yet, guys, so.
Okay, so I think what I've done is, I think I've signed up for what, the 200, 300 and 400 blocks
Yeah,
that
you
Monona
just keep-
Drive. I'm just gonna work that chunk.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
So I'll do the last 2 here since I haven't signed up for anything. And then I can also just, we can just look at it like that. So yeah,
and if you, and like we said, we'll take 100
Yeah,
posters and if
right.
you might go into
Right.
other places, like, if you go to Southtown or whatever, if you go into other, like, just keep track of where we put them so the next, when you need to refresh in a few months from now or whatever, we can do that.
sounds
And
good.
we know we're doing it right when you show at a place and there's already a poster there,
That's right.
right? That's maybe we've got
Exactly.
We actually, and Doug, I know you probably will appreciate this more than some given where you live, but we actually talked to Metro too, we haven't gotten there yet, but about how, I know one meeting we talked to Mick about how far out on Cottage Grove Road they go. Because we were kind of hoping that if we could promote that at the high school especially,
Mhm.
Oh.
Mhm.
like the whole idea of. I mean, if you've been on Cottage Grove Road early in the morning, which I have, because I go, more recently, it's like rush hour on
Mhm.
Cottage Grove Road, people coming in. And especially like in Doug's neighborhood,
Yeah,
all the cars, all the people that come in from Cottage Grove, the kids that come in from Cottage Grove to go to high school. The parking there is terrible. And so if we could get people to like do a park and ride thing, starting at like, even if it was like at Door Creek or, because they don't go all the way out to Cottage Grove. But Nick was gonna look at the route, to see how far out, I don't know if he ever.
No, I got that back in the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to think what else. Oh, and Lindsay is still pretty hot to trot about having musicians on the bus broadcasting live for WBMO
Yes.
in the beginning. So,
Signing it to Lindsay.
I think Will was gonna bring that up at a meeting soon, because initially, when we brought it up, Nick was like, well, it's going out of Monona and going downtown, and we don't know, by the time it gets downtown, early morning, anyway.
Mhm.
Downtown, it doesn't always have the room.
You can always hop on, hop off, it'll be fine.
Right. And you don't have to do it during rush hour either, you
Yeah.
can do it or tail end of rush hour when it's not
Mhm.
necessarily a packed bus, but if it were a packed bus, it would be.
Okay, so do we wanna give away for everybody who rides the bus on the first day?
A fun giveaway.
You know, I was there, the first Monona Metro
Mm.
bus. Little bumper stickers, I rode the bus,
Right,
you know, I'm a or I'm rider one in Monona, I don't know.
yeah.
You know, depending how it goes, Eddie, when it comes down Dean, like I could get on at Dean, pour everyone a hot cup of coffee, and then get off at my house, you know, because I live on McKenna and it's like kind of on the end of my, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad idea to do something like, potentially something fun like that, but,
Come on, I just welcome people aboard. Yeah. Fun.
yeah. Or, you
Well,
know,
other-
to follow up on, well, we can't do it with Metro bus drivers, but I was just thinking that. When we did the Harry Whitehorse wood sculpting festival. Pat Howell and I did a lot of the shuttle driving during the 9 days of the festival, and
Mhm.
Teresa made us. What do you call them,
Chauffeur.
chauffeur hats with buttons on and bow ties.
Oh, that's adorable.
With buttons, so, yeah. But,
I figure something goofy and slightly memorable that might
Yeah.
get some
Yeah.
traction with social media spread or, you know, photos showing up in strange places. That's why I was.
right, or
Something
media
goofy.
coverage, right,
I wonder if, what about just sort of like a welcome to Monona, like maybe a flyer about the city, like welcome to Monona, come back. I don't know.
yeah,
Like, is there a handout that we could just like, it's actually, it's not a bad idea to just hop on because it just loops right through the center of Monona. You could hop on and hop off and just catch people only as they're in Monona. Hmm. The live remote is funny. Should do that. Definitely do that.
The what?
Live remote.
Getting Lindsay to do the live remote is definitely. a
Yeah,
key.
they'll do the rel live, that's
Yeah.
easy, they'll do that regardless, But it would be, and he, you know, he's modeling it after, I think, something that. Bernie Sanders did when he was mayor of Burlington or whatever,
Mhm.
when they introduced their transit service.
Yeah,
So
rolling
it's,
bus parties. It's a pretty funny picture
Yeah.
of Bernie if you haven't seen it before.
So. And I was there when he became mayor of Burlington, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
Where you go?
I know I look much younger than you are, but no, I was, yeah, I was college, so that's why I went to school.
I'll share my
So,
screen once
are we
more.
good?
I'll share once more, just, let's see here. Just, Nancy, also I sent you the spreadsheet just so you have it, but just FYI, just really quickly, Metro's gonna have ads on the side of their buses. Audio announcements on the buses about the new routes. We talked about having displays at City Hall or displays at the library, but a poster would be fine. I think posters are enough. Metro was gonna do email or text alerts to their riders.
They did send one already.
They did already. That's
They
great.
did for the, so it's their current writers are in Metro.
Mhm.
They have,
Okay.
they sent like a alert that there's, this bus route is coming, so. Did you
Okay.
get that? Did you have that?
I didn't.
No. I
Not
don't
to see,
remember
they said,
seeing
they told me they sent it, so.
Do we wanna do something at the library, a presentation of sort at the library?
Would that be the same as those listening sessions?
Well, then, yeah,
Because we're gonna, Mick's gonna do those, right? At the library, we just don't know when.
it would be Mick, would be somebody in the office. They
I-
called
I'm
and
sorry,
said, they called,
I can't hear anything you say, Mark.
and they called Ryan today, which, not Mick, but his other person that's been working with him now. About setting up some listening sessions at the library.
Okay,
And so Ryan, I told him to get back to him tomorrow morning.
okay. But it's Metro that'll be doing it though, yeah.
Correct.
And I guess this was just always here, like, just, I think it's really this like guerrilla marketing, like if you have your own social media presence, just share whatever the city is already
Yeah.
putting out there, yeah.
Yeah, we'll make sure that everybody. Certainly in this group, but all of the city council members. That operate on social media, because I know one doesn't, but and you know, other committees. Get the word out. I'm feeling really positive. I'm here, there was a lot
Super
more
duper.
positive on Facebook.
Yep.
From people that are excited about it coming.
I agree.
And even the open house that, or public hearing or whatever they called it, that Metro did, I think. Which was
Oh, the
after
one
we
that-
had
yeah.
already, it was, yeah.
Yeah, it
You
was
said
just
there was
all
like one
positive.
person against, everybody was for it, everybody else was for it, yeah, so. I think it's all good. So anything else? Have we missed any? Channels, any other thoughts? Thank you for agreeing. Jill said that she would take some too, so we can just make sure she gets some. She gets the list and she gets some
Okay.
posters and then she can fill in where she wants to.
I'll share the list with everybody when we
Yeah.
log off. I'll get everyone's email addresses and share it out.
Great.
So I have a bigger question going forward after the rollout is. What are we gonna do? What is like what is the role of? Like transit, are we going to have liaisons?
retire.
We get to retire, okay, done. But yeah, but I mean, what is the shared governance? Are
That
we
is a-
going to be mushed into the regional transit commission? Yeah, how does it, what's that direction?
That is a fantastic question. One of the things that I had on this to-do list that I think came up in a meeting was some greater coordination with the regional system, like MPO, something. Yeah, I don't know, Eddie, that's a great question. I'm gonna add it to the list of things to talk about at the next meeting. Or what do you think, Nancy? Is that
I
a
don't
question
think we
for
should bring it up now. I mean, the thing is that before we were engaged in this conversation. Right, do we go with Metro or do we stay with Express?
Mhm.
The transit meetings were more about looking at ridership. And how can we boost ridership? And so I think there is gonna be an evaluative role.
Yeah.
That we will play because they're gonna have numbers for us, better
Right.
numbers than we've ever had before. In terms of how many people are coming into Monona, how many people are leaving, what stops they're using. And that'll tell us, for instance, whether or not we need to adjust the
Right.
route because.
Yeah.
You know, or if there are some people. One of the things that we should probably think about. I don't know that we can answer it, but maybe we can come up with a recommendation for city council is we know there's gonna be some people that are not within the 3/4 of a mile,
You're right.
right? For paratransit
weekend
and on
paratransit
weekends,
service.
yeah,
Yeah.
weekend
well,
paratransit. And weekend, and we talked about, because it's, you know, how are we gonna serve those people? If in fact if we find out and I don't know what that looks like, I don't know if that means. We should be sending something to. Cause we don't wanna be a personal chauffeur service for people that don't need it on weekends, but if we have some modified. Paratransit needs,
I'm also thinking about,
that's really.
you know, is Metro at the high level is, or. I mean, who oversees Metro right now? I think like Madison,
City of Madison too.
city, yeah, it's
Yeah.
a city of
It's-
Madison.
Yeah, it's part of the city of Madison, and they have their own board and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Commission, I mean.
So I'm thinking like if they're considering system changes that affect service in Monona,
Right.
how do we know about that?
That directly come to us,
Mhm.
they won't just switch it for no reason.
Sure,
They would
sure.
contact us or something and then talk about it. We do have a 6 months clause in there for termination if there's a problem on either side.
But we only have 6 months to figure it out, so.
Right, but no, if they're not, they can't, our contract, they can't just switch the route. Without our authorization, but
Annually renewed or is it?
it's a, I can't remember year contract,
Sorry, a year?
yeah. But yeah, they can't switch the routes or the
Yeah,
hours
yeah,
unless it's been approved by city.
yeah, I think I'm less concerned about like the rug being pulled out from under our feet, but more about making
And
sure that
planning
the
and
long-term
vision, yeah.
vision includes like input from Monona, input from Verona and
Mhm.
Sun Prairie and Middleton, everybody.
Mhm.
So,
Because you're saying that we have service from an entity that's run by a city where we're not residents and don't vote and have no voice.
that's kind of what I'm saying. And that, I don't know, some sort of regional coordination of transit, wouldn't that be lovely, but no.
Well, but I think, I think that is the reality now that Metro has reestablished
Yeah.
themselves as a regional transit.
I think
I
the
thought we
voice
were-
we have is we
From-
pay, we're, they wanted us to be on the route.
Mhm.
We are paying customer, even though I'm sure the amount we're paying is, doesn't cover the cost of the service. But they're very interested in
Definitely.
working with us
Yeah,
now.
Yeah.
We've created it based on our vision as best we could, so they've accommodated that. I guess I don't see that changing necessarily for no reason. But who am I to say that they won't? Under different leadership or
right, I think that's.
they lost their federal grant, like for, wherever their funding sources are coming from. Politics could change all of that.
Right, if there's a new mayor, because the current mayor is adamant about transit systems, so I don't know. The mayor election and changes, so.
Well, and also I think for me
Makes
as
made
as
a
a
big
commissioner.
investment, but it's not just Madison's investment, because obviously the
Prairie down
MPO
there.
regionally is behind it too, and it is a regional thing, and so there's a lot of momentum. I think it's more likely that something would happen at the federal level where they,
Yeah,
those would get hold of it or something and decide that they don't need to provide public transit.
And they're trying to get Wanakee, they're trying to work with Stone, trying to let us grow, they'll eventually, I imagine, come over, so they are.
Fantastic.
and I think the other thing for us as a commission,
Right.
right? We're on the verge of an incredibly successful initiative that our commission has been tasked with improving transit route. So do we just throw a party and celebrate?
It's big.
Or is there something else we as a commission want to be thinking about improving for transit in Monona? Because transit
In
isn't
addition,
just
right,
buses.
right.
It's walking around, it's biking
Bikes.
around.
Mhm.
Like, we've like, we did a really good thing for Monona. We wanna like ride that wave and start to think now as a commission about like, what's the next thing?
Right,
Bicycle infrastructure.
I don't know what to say.
Those trolleys, people wrote about it. A lot of the survey said, can't we have a trolley?
Trolley.
Well, I really
They've
want.
seen them somewhere, yeah.
I really wanted to do those, should I start seeing those?
I know what you're gonna say.
As the school bus,
The school trail.
yeah. Right? Have you just seen that? Have you seen that?
The magic school bus?
No, it's actually, it's S apostrophe cool bus
Cool
and it's out of France. And I could probably pull up the video if Teresa's not already had me and done it.
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
And honestly, I've been talking about this since the first year I was an alder, because they have it in France and it's been really successful for when I drive on to by City Hall in the morning and see the cars lined up and when they're going to drop their kids.
Ugh.
That just blows my mind, like,
Me too.
right?
So maybe this is an
And so
area of
this-
improvement for transit is schools.
Have you found it by any
School
chance?
drop off, working.
I just did, yeah, I'll
It's
share.
like
it
a 3 to 4 minute video.
Yeah. Let's see.
Can you say what it is?
Yeah, so it's this video, yeah, so it's basically like, you know, those, the beer trolleys that go down State Street where people are pedaling and drinking beer facing each other.
Oh,
This
Pedal
is
pops.
here it is.
Oh, oh,
Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
Oh,
Have you got the video on there too?
I think Teresa, we can get
Yeah.
kind of the idea
Right.
from
Right.
Yeah,
the
so-
pictures.
So anyway, the bottom line
Yeah,
is that the
fun.
people that designed it in France, I mean, it has headlights, it has blinkers, it has everything on it. And and they haven't, I mean, there's, when I first started, which was like 5 years ago, they were talking about exporting them and they haven't done any of that. And I thought, yeah, we have Trek in our backyard, couldn't we get somebody at Trek to design, or do a prototype? And Monona could be the first community, we're small enough, that we could be the first community to, that with younger families, more younger families coming into town.
Mhm.
To actually have that thing, and you could, and it has a roof and it has sides on it, so you could even do it in the winter.
So yeah, so maybe
That's
these
terrific.
are,
Or just,
So-
or embracing more of the, I mean, you know, obviously embracing more of the sidewalks as. You know, in the bike ped plan.
yeah, so
Yeah, and I don't know
let's
if
go
it-
back to that bike ped
I
plan
don't
and
know.
take a look at what's in that.
I don't know if that would fall underneath the transit commission though, I think.
Yeah.
It would be the public works, I assume they
Yeah,
fight
Well,
for it
there's
to
a
have.
lot of overlap between the two, and I
I
think,
would
you know.
think so.
I think you're right.
but I've always, Patrick knows somebody over at Gary Fisher too, but we just need to find somebody that wants to take on, because I think Monona could get huge
Oh, they'd be
play out of doing
terrific.
a prototype and
Mhm.
having kids in Monona do that. And the thing that video points out is that, I mean, the kids are talking about it because their bus drivers, the school bus drivers are like, of course, really, really fun,
Mhm.
younger people who like, know the kids, and the parents are talking about like how much more confident their kids are and how they can't wait to go into school in the morning because they're getting on this with their friends and, and they're having fun doing it, and they're learning all the right skills in terms of being bike riders for the rest of their life, early on in terms of what the signals are, like they learn the signals as they're doing it. So but we need to find somebody to build this prototype.
Mhm.
And then we need to find people to staff each trolley.
There we go.
But I bet we might even be able to get some volunteers to start. Enough, so I get it, I know that might be interested, but, and staff it, yeah, but,
As long as volunteer training includes like tooling around Monona in the evenings when going past your friend's house, and be like, come on, right on the thing.
so,
I'm having like flashbacks to all of the safety concerns that people were bringing up about the bus.
Yeah,
They're like, now, we're gonna put your kids on a little
Yeah, it's not.
trolley
stinky,
and ride
it's
them
not
around.
Stinky, there's, it smells good.
It's neat. I thought, I've seen these other these other bicycle, groups. Yeah, that like basically the kids all group together and bike in one big caravan,
Yeah.
right.
like 1 or 2 people leading the
Yeah.
adults. But I agree that the cavalcade of cars that shows up to the school in the morning, it's a lot.
Yes, maybe. Might be a fun project for us to.
But I guess. And I don't wanna poo-poo this at all, but who's affected by the school traffic and are they upset about it? Or are the people that live around the school just all part of it and they're have agreed that this is how they're doing their kid drop off? I don't know. Like I walk through and I judge them, but I'm like, they gotta get them here somehow. I don't-
Oh, but Mark, they get complaints, don't they, about when they close parking on that one side of the street?
High school gets a ton of
Yeah.
complaints, yeah.
high school gets one.
Oh, well, yes, that's different. The parking around the high school is crazy.
You don't hear much from
Yeah.
that, Winnequa over here, you don't hear much, it's the high school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that I was,
Right.
and I understand that, cause
Right,
the students crowd up the street and drive
Yeah.
poorly and park badly and
and don't learn to take the bus. You
No.
know, and don't become bus
And-
riders.
Yeah.
maybe that's a problem that we might see mitigated a
Put it
little
down.
bit with now that we've got a service that they could.
And that's
Hey,
why I was thinking.
That feels a
would be
little bit
good.
more adult and a little bit more,
Well, and that is actually, that is true, that even in Monona. Believe it or not, there's a fair number of those cars that drive from one side of town to the other,
mm,
Oh, yeah.
not just from Cottage Grove, like, they can't. I mean. It's kind of mind boggling to me, I can't imagine driving a car from
Down the street.
down the street, you know, some of these
Yeah,
cars.
exactly.
Not even
Yeah.
that far away.
So that is, I mean, I do think that that's a valid thing, if we could put a dent in that, either by, again, working with Metro and seeing how far out they go, or as they progress, trying to get service to Cottage Grove. What that might look like, because we were thinking about, in Madison, they actually gave out free cards, right, to
All the high school.
the high schools. And we can't afford to do that, and neither can the school district, given the current financial situation. But we were thinking, okay, well, maybe we could just give it to the people that are coming in from Cottage Grove. As an incentive. So those are all good things to think about. And so for the next meeting though, let's also think about whether or not we wanna do some giveaway or
Mhm.
I like the,
prize or
I
something.
like something cheap, obviously, but
Yeah.
like a sticker, but.
That's right, I just looked on 4A print,
Yeah.
that's the cheapest thing, and sticker, and the kids put them all over there.
Yep,
Bottles and.
first 200 people to ride the bus, or first 500 people to ride the bus.
Mhm.
Yeah. So let's think about that for the next meeting and we'll get the posters out, and then takeaways, we're gonna get the posters out to people so that we can distribute the posters. We're gonna try to get a small edit to the poster. And we're gonna get Will you're gonna send an email to Will, right,
Yeah.
Mark, to say that we have some people that are interested in doing PSAs and photos, if that can be arranged, right?
Yeah.
We need to remember diversity. With the photos and
Mhm.
with some high people and some.
Yeah.
Maybe some high school.
Let's
people.
get Shalene to do a PSA also then, in
Yeah.
minute. That might be
Sure.
nice.
Yep. And we'll think about who else could do.
We had talked, maybe it's probably on one of the lists somewhere, Teresa, about, I don't understand in Monona, is there a chamber of commerce or a big,
Mesba.
Dismal.
yeah.
Laura,
you know,
you're
that we
absolutely
would
right. Yeah.
Want to be keeping them up to date and involving
Yeah.
them.
No, Laura, you're very correct. That was on the list. It was assigned to me. Haven't done it yet, but yeah, just to reach out to MESBA because they have a newsletter. And then there was also a question about, is there a particular type of outreach that we want to be doing, particularly to Monona, MESBA members, the business owners, who's, they would want to know more about this because their employees might want to take that bus in.
And they could recruit employees.
Yep,
From,
yep,
who could
yep.
get here on the bus.
Yep, I'll make sure to do that.
Yeah, I know,
And if they're doing that, feature those stories, share it around, so other, spread the word, spread the gospel.
Mhm.
yeah. Okay, anything else before we? call it a night. If not, I'd be happy to take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Hi.
Right.
We are adjourned. Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, Teresa.
See you.